So, es geht weiter mit Disco Elysium. Willkommen zurück mit Weihnachtsmann Bulle, der ja mit Einkaufstüte durch die Küche rennt, und Kim, der halt irgendwie leider, der leider dabei ist und sich wahrscheinlich auch für uns schämt. Wir sind in diese komische Kirche gekommen, weil hier offenbar was nicht ganz rechtens abläuft. Allen voran haben wir hier den komischen Typen, der hier immer rumklettert und ganz schön einen an der Birne hat, will ich fast sagen. Und wir haben hier aber auch ein wissenschaftliches Experiment, so wie es aussieht. Irgendwas ist hier nicht ganz koscher. Und das werden wir jetzt herausfinden. Ich bin neugierig, auch wenn Kim gesagt hat, nee, komm, lass mal lieber gehen. Aber I will try. Okay. Die Schale ist mit Wasser gefüllt, ein stromführendes Kabel führt direkt hinein. Na gut, dann gucken wir da mal.
The machine's keyboard is still illuminated, revealing fluorescent play and print buttons.
Gut, dann drücken wir mal auf Play.
A bar of fabric right above the keyboard starts producing a soft hum. The sound of static seeps through the machine's planar magnetic driver. The static gets louder, slowly filling up the abandoned hall until a voice speaks out, crackling and old, cutting into the air.
Good afternoon, Fortress Accident, unserem. This is the East Insulindian Repeat Station 1. Please repeat. Is this the personal log?
This is a human interface. A retired person sitting behind a switchboard somewhere.
Fortress Accident hört sich vertraut an.
The company on whose name the terminal you're currently using has been registered to.
Haben Sie noch andere Informationen über dieses Unternehmen?
One moment. Fortress Accident SCF produces revolutionary interactive call-in radio games. That's what the catalog says.
Und was ist dieses interaktive Anruffunkspiel genau?
Any other questions?
Was ist dieses persönliche Protokoll denn?
The filament you have inserted into the core.
Meinen Sie dieses glänzende Ding mit dem Klebeband, auf dem Protokoll Februar-März steht?
I don't know. That's what I'm asking. Is this the personal log?
Ich weiß nicht, vielleicht?
If you aren't sure, could you please take a look?
Wie mache ich das?
Open the hatch on the compartment. Don't touch the wires. A current is running through it, but the core is safe. There's a filament inside. I need to know what it's called.
Da steht nur Protokoll Februar-März und sonst nichts.
Good. Please repeat the password.
What?
Let's look around. There's no use trying to guess the answer. Maybe he knows something.
Ich kenne das Passwort nicht.
Received. I will register this login attempt. Fortress Accident, is there anything else I can do for you today?
Ja gut, die ist halt lebendig, was für ein Schwachsinn. Danke, aber ich bin mit dem Mambo fertig.
Goodbye, Fortress Accident.
The machine's keyboard is still illuminated, revealing fluorescent play and print buttons.
Fragen wir eben mal den Tiago.
Oh, hey, Wei. There's coffee in the back. Oh, wait. I meant the mother's love.
Coffee in the back. Something familiar about that. Coffee and stale cookies.
Sie haben nicht zufällig mitgehört, als die Vieta ihrem Funkcomputer das Passwort gesagt hat?
Too many times, Esse. You need it for something.
Ehrlich gesagt möchte ich nur in einem Funkcomputer eindringen, um zu sehen, was sich drauf befindet.
Don't sweat it, vato. The password is afterlife death. What you think of that? Makes me almost pity la niñita pequeña when I hear it.
Also gut, danke.
I think we're done here, Esse.
That was an interesting conversation. However, I'm still not sure how it's relevant to our investigation.
Jetzt sag doch mal ab, Kim. Wir kriegen das schon gebacken.
The machine's keyboard is still. The speaker comes to life. Static seeps through the machine's planar magnetic driver. An old lady greets you. Her voice.
Good afternoon, Fortress, Accident, unserem. This is the East Insulindian Repeater Station 1. Please repeat. Is this the personal log?
Versuchen wir es noch einmal. Ich glaube, ich habe vielleicht das richtige Passwort für das persönliche Protokoll.
Good. Please repeat the password.
Nach dem Leben, der Tod.
Good. I have unlocked the filament. After ending the call, please press print to access the filament. Fortress Accident, is there anything else I can do for you today?
Danke, aber ich bin mit dem Anruf fertig.
Goodbye, Fortress Accident.
The machine's keyboard is still illuminated, revealing fluorescent play and print buttons.
So, dann drücken wir auf Print.
The printer prints out a long text document with dated paragraphs. It looks a bit like someone's journal.
Ja, dann lesen wir das mal.
The first entry, made on the 4th of February, 51, by an unknown author, is short and concise. Arrived at the church, the door was boarded up, so I used a crowbar to get inside. Looks like the place has been deserted. Nothing out of the ordinary, but I'll ask around. Need to figure out how to get the electricity in. The lieutenant leans closer, scouring the printout over your shoulder. Just as you finish reading, he looks up, muttering under his breath.
4th of February. That's over a month ago. Whoever set up those machines has been here for quite a while.
Ich lese mal die zweite Aussage, weil er hat ja schon gesagt, dass er nicht glaubt, dass damit was zu tun hat.
6th of February, 51. Had a little chat with the local fishermen. Said I shouldn't go near that place, that the church was spooky and ridden with narcotics. It's a little spooky, all right. Still haven't figured out the electricity. See? Even one of the spookers themselves says it's unnerving. What was that about narcotics? This could prove to be interesting.
Moment mal, Rauschgift?
I doubt that we can find any. It's just idle fishermen's gossip to scare away the kids. Nothing spooky about this place either. It's just abandoned and cold, and in an awful part of town.
Okay, dritter Eintrag.
7th of February, 51. Finally got the electricity in. Next on the agenda, a new antenna. I'm thinking Esker series, something advanced.
Wozu braucht sie denn eine Antenne?
Why would anyone need any of this equipment here?
Okay, vierter Eintrag.
8th of February, 51. Bought the antenna. had some problems setting it up. Called Simon for help. Heard the others are back to making art. Drinking somewhere out of town. Sulislav started a rock band again. Lexi has been seen asking money from strangers. But at least the artists have their act together. They're qualified labor. They can get work anywhere. Graphic design, ads. The programmers are doing fine too. I mean, they're programmers. The writers, though, they're fucked. I just have to find out what caused that data loss and be done with it. Still don't understand how it managed to wipe out the backup, when the backup wasn't even connected to the front. I know. Everyone thinks it's impossible. They say I must be lying. I'm here to set it right.
Datenverlust?
Seems like something to do with radio computers. Unfortunately, I don't know enough about them to understand what the author is saying. Something about the backup data getting destroyed, and how everyone thought it was the author's fault. Let's just keep reading.
Winster, Programmierer, Lexi, wer sind all diese Leute?
Her friends? Colleagues? She must be quite educated if she knew how to set up all this machinery.
Okay, weiter.
12th of February, 51. Brought some food from the grocery store. Apparently, there's a strike going on in the harbor. Definitely not happy to see the Martinez people again. Everything's now set up in the church. Going to start working tomorrow, 8 a.m.
The strike. We are nearing the date of the murder. Keep reading. I'm interested now. I want to know what's that radio anomaly that sent this person here in the first place.
Okay. Jetzt ist er also auch schon Feuer und Flamme.
25th of February, 51. I've been sending data up to Lintel for a while now, trying to recreate the data loss, but nothing. Didn't even feel like logging in, the disappointment. But I did discover a curious audio-spatial anomaly at the back of the church. I've named it the Swallow. It swallows sound. Need to get some mics.
Is she talking about?
Wahrscheinlich Tiago, oder? Oder?
28th of February, 51. Yes, the first recordings confirm that the swallow is real and I'm not just losing my mind. It's a pillar of silence with a diameter of approximately 3 meters. Seems like the higher I go, the less I record. This might be a coincidence, or it could be connected to the data loss that led me here.
The pillar of silence. She is talking about the silence. Is she suggesting it's more than just an architectural quirk?
Aber was könnte es sein?
The lieutenant doesn't answer. He follows your gaze, studying the basins. The water shines in them. No ripples.
Das ist ja alles sehr mysteriös. Okay, nächster Eintrag.
March 51. Some kind of young disco men have appeared next to the church. I've been trying to record the silence to find the epicenter, but now it turns out I've also been capturing the future of dance music, one neo-disco song over and over again. Fortunately, the song is so monotonous, I was able to devise an algorithm to factor it out. The other day, one of the disco men came in. Before I could even say hello, she got scared and left. Good, I don't want anyone distracting me from my work. That disco man must be a cell.
Die Beschreibung passt auf das Ziel.
The girl on the ice? Sounds like her, yes.
Okay, 9. Eintrag.
March 51. A new 2-meter aux cable. Noodles, crackers, ping-ping energy drinks, water, toothpaste, gum, also some canned air. Your reading is interrupted by the sound of the church door opening. A strange woman makes straight for the radio computer.
Soona! Eine fremde Frau. Scheiße. Ja.
Breaking into my radio computer, I see.
I do apologize for the intrusion, madame. We are with the RCM, you see.
Uns wird nebensächlich ein Fall her, in dem wir einige Organisatoren von Musikveranstaltungen vertreten.
Well, you won't find any music venue organizers here. It's just me and my computer, and it has been this way for weeks. Now please give me some room. I need 2 seconds to see that you haven't destroyed anything.
We should talk to her after she has rebooted the machine.
What is it?
Ich habe nichts kaputt gemacht, oder?
No, you just printed out my personal log and wasted some paper.
Verzeihung, aber wer sind Sie? Was machen Sie hier?
I am Soona Kilde, the former lead programmer of Fortress Accident and RSA radios. I have over 16 years of programming experience, and I'm proficient in both Vox and Orbis languages.
Okay, Angeberin.
If you're not here to hire me, I don't really know how I can help you.
Did she say over 16 years of experience? She must have started programming when she was still a teenager. That still doesn't answer what she's doing in an abandoned church.
Warum sind hier denn so viele Geräte?
I brought them here. These are my machines. Please don't touch anything.
Wozu benötigen Sie eine Antenne?
I use the AR1 as my RAIN prefix processing unit.
Perfekt. Ist das Ihr Funkcomputer, stimmt's?
Mhm.
Und diese Antenne ist der Prozessor.
Yes? You really don't know anything about radio computers, do you?
Nicht wirklich.
Alright. Well, all radio computers perform operations up on air. So in order to gain more processing power, you need to invest in a good antenna.
Moment, was bedeutet im Äther?
On the front, the unified front of radio waves, licensed and controlled by Lintel in the East in Cylindic region. It's all around us. That's what on air means.
Und die AR1, ist das eine gute Antenne?
I guess it is. So far I've been quite satisfied with it. Martinez is an unstable region with bad coverage, and the operation has been surprisingly stable. But it's not the cheapest one on the market, so I wouldn't recommend it for your regular red tape operations. Fraser 1000 is a foolproof line for civilians. Anyway, you should do some research before you decide to buy anything. Ask around, compare the prices. There are many milieus dedicated to that sort of thing.
Was machen Sie mit Ihrem Funkcomputer?
I'm working.
Danke.
The machine seems almost alien with its pulsing core, the light casting her face in a strange shadow.
Woran arbeiten Sie?
Could you just shh for a moment? Or get to the point. I really need to focus on something.
Was ist mit diesen Wasserbehältern da hinten?
They are connected to my RAIN prefect. Whatever you do, just please don't move them, okay? Thanks.
Was ist denn hier los? Ich will doch nur wissen, was sie da macht. Ich werde versuchen, nichts anzufassen. Nächste Frage.
Great.
Was machen Sie ausgerechnet in einer verlassenen Kirche?
You really like those questions, don't you?
Ja. Sie besetzen hier einen öffentlichen Raum. Ich muss wissen, was Sie hier machen.
I'm conducting scientific research here. You can't throw me out.
Was erforschen Sie denn?
I'm looking for the location of a 2mm hole in the world.
Ah, dann hat er doch recht.
What? She's looking for a disruption in the radio waves. That's what her personal log said. The lieutenant raises his brows, but doesn't say anything.
Ein Loch in der Welt. Was bedeutet das genau?
Exactly. What does it mean? Up to now, it has been impossible to say what it is because it's impossible to measure nothing. What do you think it is? What qualities does nothing have? How do you measure something that does not exist?
Easy. You measure it by the world around it.
Man misst es, indem man Daten zur Umgebung sammelt, zu dem, was existiert.
Exactly. Very true. That's what I've been aiming for. That's why I have those basins. I've tried using hydro transducers to record the silence, to find out where it begins. But honestly, it's not progressing very well.
Hat das Loch etwas mit dem Datenverlust in Ihrem Protokoll zu tun?
Yes, that's what led me here. But I suspect it might be something a bit more complicated than that.
Haben Sie eine Ahnung, wo sich dieses Loch befinden könnte?
Somewhere underneath those roof beams, I assume.
Only a faint crisscross of rafters can be made out from the dark. Most of the tower disappearing into the shade.
Warum dort?
There's this place at the back of the church, a place where all audible vibrations seem to decease. I've named it the Swallow, and the higher you go, the less you record.
The Pillar of Silence? Are you sure it's not just an architectural quirk?
Maybe, but it's oddly close to the physical coordinates of the data loss that led me to this place.
Dort lebt der Krabbenmann.
I know.
Ah, okay. Meinen Sie nicht, der Krabbenmann könnte für alles verantwortlich sein?
No, I don't.
Okay, sie weiß also von ihm. Sie haben erwähnt, dass die Forschung nicht gut läuft. Wieso nicht?
Because it's just trial and error, trying to locate the Swallow, the exact point in space. And I don't have a... You know what? It would be really helpful if you could just stop talking and let me work.
Das ist alles, was ich über das unheimliche 2 mm große Loch in der Welt wissen wollte. Fürs Erste.
Great. Thanks.
Was halten Sie von anodischer Dance-Musik?
What? I hate it.
Okay, wow, das war schnell. Warum hassen Sie sie?
Maybe I'd have to be on drugs to get it, but to a sober mind it just sounds like uninspired rug whipping. No idea what it has to do with either dancing or music.
Na gut, aber was halten Sie von einem Club für anodische Dance-Musik?
This is about those speed freaks in the tent, isn't it? I've got some news for you. It's not a nightclub they want to build here.
Was dann?
Take a guess, why don't you?
Ein Jugendzentrum wäre toll.
I can't believe they got you so easily. Go have another talk with those up-and-coming entrepreneurs, will you? Thanks.
Good luck. I'm not coming in there.
Na gut, ich lasse Sie in Ruhe arbeiten. Also es gibt hier tatsächlich irgendeine Sache in der Kirche. Das ist strange. Hilf den Ravern, einen Nachtclub aufzuziehen. Erzähle andere, wie Soona über seinen Nachtclub denkt. würde jetzt gerne erst einmal hier weiter erkunden. Das ist ein alter Bunker. Früher drehten diese rostigen Zahnräder die gesamte Maschine. Das Gebäude vor dem beherbergt den Motor, der muss groß gewesen sein. Die Kette verschwindet im Ozean, wo sie wohl führt? Wohin sie wohl führt? Dieses Fass wurde erst vor kurzem entsorgt. Es riecht auch nach Schweröl.
An old door, worn by elements, guards the depot. The wind has blown a sand dune in front of it. The door hasn't been opened in a long while. You see a handle.
Was ist das hier überhaupt?
It's military. A service depot of some sort.
Also, und was hat es versorgt?
Probably something that is no longer there.
Na gut. Ein weißes Polohemd. Rhetorik und Empathie. Dieses Hemd sieht abgenutzt aus und müffelt etwas. Haben wir? Logik. Nee, da waren wir schon. Der Typ ist halt gestorben. Ne? Unter einem Stein versteckte Zigarettenstummel der Marke Tiomotiri. Was hier im Geiste einer Notiz. Tiomotiri scheint irgendwie wichtig zu sein. Hier hat jemand ein Lagerfeuer gemacht, vor langer Zeit. Ein verrosteter, defekter Schaltkasten für den Funkturm. Duftender Schal. Schauder und Körperreparatur, Allergien. Dieser leicht Frühlingsschal riecht nach einer Mischung aus Männerparfüm und billigem Waschmittel. Jemand muss ihn vergessen haben. Wahrscheinlich bei einer Verabredung. Trage ihn, wenn du dir vormachen willst, dass der Frühling endlich da ist. Winzige Fjorde weit, weit draußen, hinter dem Punkt, wo die Pfähle zusammenlaufen. Die Leiteste verrostet, um sie zu benutzen. Die Seeluft hat ihr zugesetzt. Ja, ja. Da könnten wir eventuell rein. Hier unten ging es noch weiter, ne? Da wollte ich noch mal gucken gehen hier, weil irgendwo. Ja genau hier. Das ist der Anfang, wo die da waren. Weiter.
You see a once bright mural towering above you. The signage has peeled off over the years, but you can still make out Feld Electrical R&D. A slogan used to intertwine with the loops a long time ago. Now only a shadow of peeled letters remains. It says, "Tomorrow is just a whisper away."
Morgen ist noch ein Flüstern entfernt.
Looks like tomorrow never came.
And Mikhail noticed the windows, especially with how there are no windows on the south side. This was to deal with. You officers, come to investigate the historic subtext of West Martinez? I'm Tran Heilostam. You must be Kim Kitaragi, right? I was just telling my son about this building. Not a lot of people realize the historic significance here. Very rich in hypertext.
Nice to meet you.
Sie und Kim kennen sich?
No, I can't say that we've met before, but I've heard of Kim, of course. Mikhail, say hi to the officers. Mikhail's a little tired today. We spent all night trying to run Orbis on his radio computer. Have you heard of it? It's a programming language used in Grad. Quite tricky, but he wanted to play this Grad-made adventure program. We've been getting really into worms lately.
The man speaks in the artificial cadence of a professor, or someone who's been on too many radio shows.
But I assume you're not here for giant worms when there are so many real things to see. Just as I was telling Mikhail before, this is where the Coalition landed in '08. We could be standing on what is the most interesting landmark in Revachol West.
This man is your half-brother. You feel it. But why?
Was ist an einem leeren alten Gebäude so faszinierend?
Aha, but it's not just any empty old building. What not a lot of people know is, this used to be the R&D department of Feld Electrical. And Feld, which now sells ink cartridges mostly, was once a top dog in the turn-of-the-century cybernetics boom.
Hold on. What's R&D?
Ich glaube nicht, dass ich von Feld Electric schon mal gehört habe.
That's not surprising. Only a vestigial ink cartridge and ferrotape manufacturer remains. They started out as a midway electronics outfit in Königstein 2 centuries ago. After an aggressive move to Revachol, Feld became a global player in the emerging personal electronics market of the pre-revolutionary era. Still, Tricentennial was beating them in business machines. But Feld had an ace up their sleeve, or should I say they were developing an ace up their sleeve. I'm mixing my metaphors here.
Was war das für ein Ass?
It was here in Martinez, possibly in this very building, that they developed prototypes for a tape computer.
Ein Datenbandcomputer?
An elegant folding mechanism of rollers and ferrotape ribbons, portable enough to be a take-it-home solution. Revolutionizing business machines, possibly even bring them to the average consumer. Which is a feat of engineering even today's giants, Rehm, ICN and ZAM, haven't achieved yet.
He assumes something like a combat stance, facing the wind.
Was ist passiert?
Indeed. What?
The revolution!
Unfortunately, their moonshot project never made it to the market. Feld's move to Revachol backfired. The revolutionary government liquefied their assets and expropriated those very advanced prototypes, possibly from this very building, or one of the adjacent ruins. All of this was built by Feld, even the boardwalk. Wild Pines built Martinez proper as a resort for their middle management. Feld built this side of town for R&D.
Sie sagen, dass Feld Electric diese Promenade gebaut hat?
Yes, they even built a pleasure wheel, but that got destroyed in the war.
A pleasure wheel?
Yes, to lure in their star engineers. This part of Martinez was nothing but reeds before Feld arrived. They had to make the prospect of living here attractive. It was supposed to become a global center for innovation in cybernetics. But history had other plans.
Was ist mit den Ingenieuren passiert, den Mitarbeitern?
Oh, I'm afraid it didn't end well for the boys. But this story is a bit too dark for little Mikhail here. Now, if you were to ask about tape computers...
Was haben die Revolutionäre mit diesen fortschrittlichen Datenbankcomputern gemacht?
They used them for military communications, but also to write and send out press releases, the most notorious example being Le Décret de Mars.
Und was ist das?
What's the Mars Decree? I mean the radio transmission sent out to news agencies and world governments by the newly created commune of Revachol on the 7th of March in the year 02. It's a beautiful piece of text, actually. A singer-songwriter I know, Charette, called it a love poem to Revachol on her political concept album, bisher, Lind. You should read it. Every local library in Revachol stocks a copy of the decree. I tried to get Mikhail to memorize it. Tried to. Someone was much too interested in worms to be paying any attention.
The kid takes a peek at the green and silver worm on the cover of the book, already forgetting about this part of the discussion.
Wie haben diese Datenbankcomputer funktioniert? So wie Funkcomputer?
Actually, no one knows. No one even knows what a computer made entirely of tape would look like. But word has it, they were very elegant, exquisite, alien-looking turn-of-the-century hardware. 10 years ago, I did a little freelancing, I guess you could say. I was a special consultant for an exhibition at the Humpty Dumpty Dum Centre in Vredefort, Oranje. It raised the same questions, and we had lengthy discussions with Paul Ockerman, who was head curator at the time. This was before the twins Keith and Guy Hughes joined the team, trying to...
Wait, did he just say Humpty Dumpty Dum Centre? He did it. He said Humpty Dumpty Dum Centre, like it's the most natural thing in the world. What the hell is a Humpty Dumpty Dum Centre? And who the hell are Keith and Guy Juiced?
Okay, das Humpty Dumpty Dum Center, Paul Ockerman, Cave und Key Jaws, wovon reden sie überhaupt?
The Humpty Dumpty Dum Centre for Contemporary Arts. The exhibition itself drew on Lagerman's notion of memory, and so there were some parallels. That's why the head curator, Paul Ockerman, chose to...
Das ist doch frei erfunden. Kim, denkt er sich das alles aus?
In fact, I'm not. The Humpty Dumpty Dum Centre is a place you can visit if you're ever in Vredefort and are ever in the market for an exhibition space / contemporary art research centre. But perhaps I should return to the tape computers. As I was saying, the device itself was very elegant, fragile even. One could write directly on the tape using a special chemical solution. The machine would then analyze the handwriting, perform operations, and project output onto a white screen. It was a beautiful, delicate thing.
Toll.
Very, very cool. Though I understand the socio-economic causes of the revolution, it pains me to imagine the revolutionaries setting fire to this precious device. But so they did. The Feld playback experiment vanished into the fires of 07.
Und das Feldwiedergabe-Experiment?
Yes, the official name of the prototype. Some sources report it as the Feld playback experience, but those are incorrect.
Warum haben die Revolutionäre es zerstört?
Who knows? Maybe it was an accident, or maybe they didn't want the technology to end up in the wrong hands. Either way, they're all gone now. All 3 versions of the prototype. Nothing but debris and ashes remain inside that building.
Ich habe noch andere Fragen.
But of course, what else?
Na gut, danke für all die interessanten Informationen.
No, thanks to you for having me and little Mikhail here to pick your brain. A very interesting conversation indeed.
Oh Mann, ich habe schon gedacht, der hört gar nicht mehr auf zu plappern. Ein weiterer Verteilerkasten, der versorgt nichts mehr mit Strom, er ist leer. Der Zaun versperrt den Weg, hier geht es nicht weiter. Die langen, staubigen Fenster sind vergittert. Ah, hier ist das. Aber da oben kann man noch rein, oder?
Yes?
Ach, schade, jetzt habe ich mich leider verklickt. Da außen lang gehen? Ah, das sind die beiden Forscher, ne? Okay. Heute befindet sich kein Boot an der Bootshütte. Bootshütte ist nicht gerade solide gebaut. Ein starker Wind können sie glatt umwehen. Ja, wie viel Geld man hier findet. Vom Dach dieser völlig verrosteten Sitzbank blättert uralte Farbe ab.
A scattering of bullet holes is spread across the cracked wall, reaching from one corner to the other.
Ja, versuchen wir mal. Warum so viele Einschusslöcher?
A row of ghostly shades stand facing the wall. There are many of them, a dozen at least, their heads lowered and eyes blindfolded. It's quiet. No sound. No movement. 10 meters away, other shades are lined up in an orderly manner, automatic rifles primed. A gust of wind blows by. The coats of the firing squad flap slowly in the breeze. A single person stands on the side. The sun blazes high up in the sky, baking the planks, the sand, your skin. The order was carried out in the afternoon. A long time has passed since the moment of this fusillading. Rain and brine have since washed all the blood away. Not a trace remains.
Was ist das?
The abundance of bullet holes leads to 2 options. Either an inordinate amount of executions were performed here, or they did not use a conscience round, where only one soldier has the loaded rifle. Looks like this was a mass execution with everyone fully armed.
Das ist die Menschen, die an der Mauer stehen.
A host of men, probably in everyday clothes, ragged from the conflict and covered in dust. They were not sitting, a common practice for executions in some nations, as demonstrated by the height level of the bullet holes. They stand, facing the wall. It's impossible to discern any details about their personality or background. Ordinary people, familiar, each and every one of them.
Wer waren sie?
Leeches, fleas, and thieves, all the freeloader scum living off the hard work of others. Such is your belief.
Ja, adieu. Ich glaube, wir wissen, was es hier ist.
A cold sea wind blows away the figures.
Das ist ein Ausschießungskommando. Schild steht Entree interdit. Die Tür ist nicht bloß verschlossen, sie ist unzugänglich. Ja, mal, wie viel Geld man hier kriegt. Ein Zipfelmütze. Gibt Logik und Minuswahrnehmung. Okay, was haben wir? Reaktionsvermögen. Zieh die mal über. Mehr Logik. Plus 4. Das ist eine Kiste. Gut, Freunde, ich würde sagen, das soll es gewesen sein für diese Folge. Danke fürs Einschalten. Ich denke, wir haben jetzt alles gesehen, grundsätzlich. Und dann schauen wir mal, wie es weitergeht. Danke fürs Einschalten. Ich bin gespannt, wie es weitergeht. Ist ein bisschen sehr langatmig, aber da werden wir durchgehen. Wir müssen jetzt demnächst mal gucken. Ich habe jetzt das ganze Gebiet hier nochmal mir angeschaut. Ich weiß nicht, ob ich hier alles gesehen habe. Aber ich denke, für den Moment soll es das gewesen sein. Danke fürs Einschalten. Und dann sehen wir uns zum nächsten Mal wieder. Tschüss.